Welcome to SportsFaith One-on-One with Matt Kowalczyk. Today we had the privilege of sitting down with Kaukauna High School basketball standout, Jordan McCabe. Jordan McCabe was pursued by many different colleges and universities. So what made him land and decide on West Virginia?
Number one, the head coach. Because at the end of the day, that's who you're most connected with. B was a style of play, which are semi-linked. I could ramble on and on about what they do in terms of, inside the lines that I love so much. Number three is just all the intangibles of the school. You weigh the facilities that they have, the fan base that they have. I think there's a lot of things that go into that third one, but the top two, like I said, coach and style of play, those are really what came down to me making my decision.
One of the other questions that we talked with Jordan about is people see the highlight reels. They see what he can do on the court. They see all the end product, but what they don't see is what got him to this level.
Yeah, they don't see, the hours. You're getting a glimpse on a Tuesday night or a Friday night of what took me, tens of thousands of hours, and I don't say that lightly. That's literally tens of thousands of hours, because from a very young age, as long as I can remember, I'm pretty sure, my dad put a ball in my hands when I was, he says 5 years old, and I started to, actually take it seriously at that point. It was in my crib, so, that's kind of, how far we're going back, and there's a whole lot of sacrifice.
God calls us all to give our best and to give Him our first fruits. Jordan McCabe shows that both on and off the court.
To me, playing with a chip on your shoulder is a kid that doesn't pass the eye test. I don't think people could pick me out of a lineup as somebody who's going to go play on to the next level, and that's what kind of motivates me. That's that chip that I think they're talking about. I can't go out there and give hugs and kisses the whole game, but I also can't be somebody who's, they look down and be like, oh, talking to their son, like, don't do that, because I want to be a role model. I want to be someone people can look up to, but at the same time, be a fierce competitor. That's easier said than done.
At 5'11", it's hard not to compare Jordan McCabe to David versus Goliath. So how does he overcome the adversity of playing against people that may be close to a foot taller than him?
You have the research on fight or flight and whether or not a human can actually stand up to a challenge that size, and the bigger it is, the more that people tend to back down. I don't see myself as somebody who back down from anything. I go out there every time, and really, if I can look across and look my opponent in the eyes, and if at the end of the day he beats me, I'll tip my hat and move on. But at the beginning of it, if you go in with anything less than that mentality, it's not going to be pretty, especially on a national scale where, and people look at that and be like, yeah, there's no way you're making it, may as well hang him up now. Also what motivates me.
Jordan McCabe didn't get here by himself. He has many mentors and people that poured themselves into him to make him the young man that he is today.
My name is Brian Pesco. I'm the pastor at Alpha Alliance Church, and I was the youth pastor here while Jordan was growing up and attending youth ministry. The only way you really mature is by having older people pour into you. So you need your peers, but to mature and grow, you need those older influences. His faith is something that's very public, and people know that he loves God, he's pursuing God, and he really wants to use basketball as a means to bring people toward God.
One thing he told me, he actually used to help our girls program, and he introduced me to this concept that is pretty widely accepted, the audience of one. He said no matter how many people are ever in the crowd, at the end of the day, if you can look around and just envision God sitting there and you being able to, at the end of the day say, I did everything I could for him, then you did your job that night. So there's a guy out of Saginaw, Michigan. His name's Jason Otter. Over the years he's been more of a father figure to me, but as time went on, it became less about what was happening inside the lines. It transitioned to faith and where I am each and every day with that. I align myself with him. He is someone who played college basketball. He went through the ranks. He played with that chip on his shoulder. I was very fortunate and blessed by only God that I got to cross paths with Jason. He's been a huge mentor and a huge role in my life, and not only basketball but in my faith.
With all the success that he's had at the high school level and hopefully going on into the college ranks, Jordan McCabe has found ways to stay grounded, both as an athlete, as a student, but also as a young man.
Not only me, but any high school kid will tell you that it's hard sometimes. I've been lucky enough to have a very good family and home life, and an upbringing that really was, cemented in faith. But I try, and I continue to try to grow in that faith, and I think that's what it's really all about, and constantly trying to grow and add to myself. So,
many high school students face temptations on a daily basis. Jordan McCabe utilizes this foundation in Christ to make sure that he stays strong and stays true to his path.
I personally think that my devotions as I wake up every morning help me at least keep on track, and it can be tough at times because one slip up, one mistake, one bad judgment call can spoil a whole lot of good that you've done prior to that. And each and every day I try to go out and symbolically wear that armor of God to all the distractions and things, the temptations that try to pull me away from where I'm trying to go.
So we talked with Jordan. We found out what it was like to walk in his shoes and what it was like to be him, and how he's used Christ to overcome some of the challenges in his life.
I plan on going to the NBA and doing everything like that, and having the highest possible platform that God can give me. But in the same breath, I know that if it doesn't work out, I'm not ruined. I'm not miserable. I know that He's going to have a different plan for me, and I'm ready to roll with the punches and just do whatever I possibly can, to shed a light on Him for people who may not have had it without me.
Thank you for joining us for Sports Faith One-on-One. We look forward to making an impact with you on our next episode.